Thousands of years ago, words were written on ancient scrolls. Words that described cities falling, nations rising, wars erupting, and a world unraveling. Nobody believed them. Nobody could. And then, one by one, history proved them right. The Bible contains prophecies so precise, so detailed, so shockingly accurate that historians, scholars, and skeptics have spent centuries trying to explain them away. Some still cannot. What you are about to hear was written long before it happened, and that changes everything. Biblical prophecy is not fortune-telling. It is not vague mysticism. It is specific, dated, documented. The Hebrew prophets wrote with extraordinary precision about kingdoms, catastrophes, and cosmic events. These were not guesses. These were declarations. Written centuries, sometimes millennia, before the events they described. Over 2,500 individual prophecies appear across the pages of Scripture. Scholars estimate that around 2,000 of them have already found their historical fulfillment. 2,000. That number alone should stop you cold. In the book of Luke, chapter 19, verse 44, Jesus looked out over Jerusalem and said, "They will not leave one stone upon another." He said this in approximately 30 Anno Domini. 40 years later, in 70 Anno Domini, Roman General Titus surrounded the city. What followed was one of the most devastating sieges in ancient history. The temple was burned. The walls were torn apart stone by stone. Over 1 million people perished. The city was left in ruins so complete that Roman soldiers literally plowed the ground where it once stood. Jesus described it in precise detail, 40 years before it happened. In the book of Daniel, written in the 6th century before Christ, a vision described 4 great world empires rising and falling in sequence: Babylon, Persia, Greece, Rome. Each one rose, each one fell, exactly as described. Daniel even predicted that Greece would defeat Persia with breathtaking speed, led by a single powerful king who would die at the height of his power, and his kingdom would be divided into 4 parts. Alexander the Great conquered Persia in just 3 years. He died at 32 years old. His empire was divided among 4 of his generals. This was written over 200 years before Alexander was even born. In Ezekiel chapter 37, the prophet described dry bones coming back to life. A nation scattered, destroyed, declared dead, rising again. For nearly 1900 years, the Jewish people had no homeland, scattered across the earth, persecuted, nearly annihilated. And then, on May 14, 1948, the State of Israel was declared, a nation reborn in a single day. Isaiah chapter 66, verse 8 asks, "Can a country be born in a day?" On that specific day in 1948, the answer became yes. Believers around the world saw it as the most significant prophetic fulfillment of the modern era. Matthew chapter 24 reads like a modern news broadcast. Wars and rumors of wars, nation rising against nation, famines, earthquakes in various places, lawlessness increasing, love growing cold, deception spreading across the earth, false prophets rising, the gospel being preached to every nation. Every single generation has seen shadows of these signs. But something about this generation feels different. The speed of global conflict, the scale of moral collapse, the explosion of deception through technology, the reach of the gospel through digital platforms touching every corner of the earth. The patterns are accelerating. Over 300 prophecies in the Old Testament describe the coming Messiah, his birthplace, Bethlehem, written in Micah 700 years before the birth. His entry into Jerusalem on a donkey, written in Zechariah 500 years before it happened. Betrayal for 30 pieces of silver. Soldiers casting lots for his clothing. Not one bone broken. A spear piercing his side. All written, all fulfilled. Mathematician Peter Stoner calculated the probability of just 8 of these prophecies being fulfilled by one person by chance. The number was 1 in 10 to the 17th power. That is 1 in 100 quadrillion. History did not just echo scripture. History confirmed it. These were not coincidences. These were not lucky guesses. Something ancient and eternal was speaking into time long before time caught up. And if what was written then has already proven true, the question worth sitting with tonight is not whether the Bible got the past right. The question is what it says about what is still coming. That answer, written thousands of years ago, is still waiting for you.